So, hey guys, Chauzu here. We're recording this, we're just hours away from Gear 5 finally dropping. Shortly after this video, I'll be going to bed to get as much sleep as possible for the big occasion. I'm going to be making a lot of content tomorrow, including pulling. But before we go into all the news we've got and discussions about how to pull, stuff like that, I want to bring something to attention I just learned a few hours ago. It's regarding Gear 5 Luffy and our favorite subject about Gear 5 Luffy, which is the rush. Apparently, something very peculiar has happened that basically never happens. We've had a translation error on the English version. I know, shocking. Well, jokes aside, basically they only made one mistake here, but it's a pretty fatal one. Here it says, at final battle, if character is in Gear 5 or performs the 6th tap of an attack. That or should be an and. So instead of having some flexibility, there is no flexibility. You have to be at final battle, you have to be in Gear 5 mode, and you have to do the 6th tap. Very fascinating. This basically means that this is effectively a final tap, but it is a rush, which makes no sense in my book. Honestly, if you look at the values with rush, it's all a bit complex. But from my understanding, this is going to be, in terms of normal final taps, a really strong one. The main issue is long term, let's say, like right now, Sai has no rush except for Luffy. But if we ever get like a Super Sugo Fast Sanji with a rush to use in the beginning to buff the rest of the team, I don't really see any use for this Luffy's rush. Sure, Luffy himself hits hard, but that's not really worth it when you can make maybe 4 units on the team hit a lot harder. That's just better value, and then you can also fit a real final tap in. It is still curious that they made this decision, and we also have some other weird oddities. One thing I'll do tomorrow is test out a lot of stuff with Gear 5. It will be the first thing I do after I pull him. If I do otherwise, I'll have to find friend captains. But basically it says 6th tap. But with final taps, it doesn't have such a requirement. If we go to the character list, can put up any final tap. There should be a quick Luffy here. There we go. Here is a normal final tap unit. And if you see here with him, it just says final battle. And it doesn't say here, but the way final tap works is that you just have to hit last of the available units. So you can actually do final tap when hitting 3rd, if only 3 units can tap, for example. But for Luffy, he has to hit 6th. So he can't be used in certain situations where you should be able to use a final tap, which can be a problem in situations where you have tap limit, for example. Anyway, thought you guys should know. With that said, let's get into the notice. Not going to talk a lot about the various news here. I'm mainly going to talk about the Sugo. But we have a gem sale. It's pretty standard Super Sugo Fest stuff. The main thing here is that it ends August 25th. If we look at Pirate King Adventures, it ends shortly after that. So it's basically pretty safe to assume that after, for next Pirate King Adventures, we'll have a new Super Sugo Fest that follows the theme Decisive Battle in the Skies. And the only legend that makes sense in my eyes with that theme is Kaido. So probably a Super Sugo Fest Kaido towards the end of the month, if that's something you'd be more interested in than Gear 5 Luffy. Probably not a lot of you, but maybe a few. We also have a login bonus, and I think they do a good thing here. We get as many, even more gems than that we usually do. But we also get a lot of cola, and this will make a lot of people happy. I think this is a good decision. They buffed cola drops in PKA. I think they should still be higher, but good step. Grand Party is back. They have an error in the description, I think, where it says you only have to win 12 types on such. I haven't checked where it is now, but I've seen pictures posted. But anyway, that information is incorrect. The real information is here, where it says that they've updated. This is fixed, so now we have to win 15 times. So I'm also going to be posting a video with Gear 5 Luffy in Grand Party tomorrow, if I happen to pull him, of course. Big asterisk there. Anyway, we also have a blitz coming. Going to be starting earlier than usual. This is what happens when PvP and blitz are on the same timeline. Then they move the blitz to Thursday. Personally, it's very bad because I start work then, so I will not be able to play blitz a lot. So even if I have full batch, I'll not go for higher than like top 1000 or something. And yeah, not much to say. Yamato is a nice extra booster. One notable thing is that the optimal team with these 5 units, Luffy can't use EX then. And every single legend boosted here is also a bind resistance, so might be a lot of bind, we'll see. But yeah, we're getting a blitz, and it's a pretty decent booster list, so should be possible to make a team, for most people, a pretty good team. And yeah, now let's talk a bit about the Sugo Fest. Before we get started, I will say what I always say. I don't give pull advice. I know others does it, but I think it's hugely irresponsible. So what I can do is more give some general guidelines. I'm not going to say, oh, pull part 2 because it has this legend. No, nothing like that. But yeah, like Sugo Fest usually are nowadays, 15% chance to get a legend. Momo and Luffy debuting. Luffy is a Super Sugo Fest exclusive. Momo is a normal legend, but Momo won't be appearing in other Sugo Fest until this Super Sugo Fest ends, which is October 13th. Important to note that only part 1 will end then. Part 2 and 3 ends a lot earlier. This is standard Super Sugo Fest procedure. But yeah, here it also confirms that Luffy will Super Evolve. I'll make a separate video about that a bit later, like it's no rush. It's not until September, but we're going to be able to start collecting skulls right now. And we know that Luffy won't change color or type, which is a bit disappointing to me, but I know a lot of people are happy because they hope they don't need to pull a dupe. But same color and class does not rule out that this will be a side grade where you want to keep 1 copy of each. We have to wait and see. But yeah, basically we have 3 parts. Part 1 is going to be all legends available. Luffy and Momo is there, but remember that the rates are split in half. So usually legends are 0.5% rate on normal Sugos. Part 1 is not normal, but the both boosted units will have close to that at least, probably a bit less. But Luffy and Momo will be split, so Luffy will be 0.25% rate, Momo will be 0.25%. At least I assume that. I think that if it was likely to be higher rate, I probably heard people speculate about it. Like when Yamato debuted, for example, Yamato and Ultra Page 1 both had 0.5% rate, but that's like the only time that has happened. It would be cool to have it happen again, but I don't think so. Then on part 2 we will have the Gear 5 Luffy, and part 3 we will have Momo. So in general about pulling here, like if you don't have a lot of gems and just want like the best chance to get anything new, then part 1 is probably better. Not as good as usual, though usually part 1 has very good steps and part 2 has a little bit less good steps, but this time honestly, part 1 steps are awful, part 2 steps are awful, it doesn't matter. Like for most people, going part 2 is probably the best because You might not have enough gems now to go to 30 multis, but we'll be getting a lot of gems during this celebration, so maybe by September 8th you'll be able to collect that many gems. But yeah, basically if you only care about Luffy, part 2 in general will be the best value, but if you can only do 10 multis, then you can YOLO it on part 1 if you want. It will be maybe a little bit less rate for Luffy, but a bigger rate in general to get something new and exciting. But yeah, if you don't care about Momo at all, like, why even consider part 1, basically. Anyway, let's see the units. Part 1 has what's called rate booster because every legend is available on part 1. And by every legend, I mean every Super Sugo Fest exclusive and every normal legend. So not treasure map legends, not Kisna legends, not PvP legends. And take note that these are the rate boosted units. They will have closer to 0.5% rate. Let me count how many units it is, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20. It is 20, so going to be interesting to see the rates. Obviously, these are not only legends because we have over 100 legends in total, but these will be closer to 0.5% rate. And as said, Luffy should be 0.25%, Momo 0.25%, 0.5% together, and you get a little bit better step-ups. Personally speaking, I'm happy that Shanks and Bug is available. I like some dupes. I have Final Tap level 2, so I will mind dupes. King, I only need one more King for Rainbow, and having one of the Beast Pirate Super Tandem at Rainbow is very nice to have for the future. Hawkins is Rainbow, but I haven't fully level limit broken him yet. Sengoku, almost level limit broken, I think. And Usopp Yasop, basically my white whale. I still only have pulled them once ever, so since they are often good in Super Boss and stuff, will I mind getting a few dupes to get them a bit higher level. Other than that, everything is level 150 for me. Don't really care about the rest. But of course we have this, and this looks incredibly enticing, but remember, the rates for these will be very low. We have hundreds of legends that we share the same rates as them, so logically speaking, you have the same rate to pull Roger Whitebeard as V1 Whitebeard. So this might look amazing, but do not pull here if you aim for one of them. Then you want to pull on a specific part. So if you only want Robin, for example, a very popular unit to own, don't expect Robin here, even if you pull 30 multis. You are unlikely to get any specific unit here in 30 multis, just so you know. Then there's always RNG, of course, but it is what it is. Part 2, now this is a normal Sugo Fest. The only legends you can pull are those displayed here. And on this one we have Gear 5 Luffy, we have Yamato vs Kaido, Super Tandem Luffy, and Law. I have Law Max, I have Luffy Rainbow, I have Yamato vs Kaido at level 110, so I pulled 2 dupes. And then there's Gear 5 Luffy, of course. Personally speaking, I made a video about this before, and I don't really want to expand Yamato vs Kaido further, because Yamato's Super Tandem is often not optimal. So if I end up pulling a Yamato vs Kaido, I'll make sure to save a dupe before I feed more dupes into them. As for the rest of the legends, like Robin Koala, is going to be a great legend moving forward to own. I think Roddy vs Viper is also really cool, Queen good. And then, yeah, most people should have a lot of these, but Rayleigh Gaban has been really good, but now they won't be boosted in Pirate King Avengers anymore, which makes them a bit less useful. Other than that, there's nothing in particular I want myself. And as for part 3, they usually do this, that on part 3, where we don't have a new Super Sugo Fest exclusive, they put some of the more, how should I call it, enticing Super Sugo Fest exclusives. So in this case, Luffy Yamato, Uta, Roger Whitebeard. So a lot of people will pull for them, but then they're like, I can't pull Gear 5 here, Momo is a normal legend. I don't want to pull here, so a lot of people don't want to pull here, but that also means it takes longer to get certain good legends if you don't have them. Personally, this part in terms of Super Sugo Fest is not enticing. I have Luffy Yamato Max since I use posters. Roddy Whitebeard, I also used a few posters, I admit, but both are level 150, Odin level 150. Uta I lack like 1 or 2 copies, like not a big deal. And then as for normal legends like Black Maria, one of the few legends I don't have, so I'd be pretty excited to get her, but personally I want to stay clear of this part. I do not want to pull here. It's the main reason I'm going to part 1, because I'm really hoping I get Momo at least. Like, going for the multis without Momo or Luffy will really be heartbreaking, not going to lie. But that's the risk you can take. Jack's pretty nice. Personally, like the rest I pull all the time. Like, I even have the Weed Tree Whitebeard here, the Dex one at level 150, and I pull like 3 dupes. Like, they just spam normal legends like crazy once they're properly released. Like, I think you noticed like Yak, Queen, King, after the annual celebration been ended, they've been on every Sugo basically. But yeah, that's some info ahead of the Sugo Fest. Not much else to say, but good luck to all of you pulling. I'll try and be up here for the start. I won't be streaming anything, I'll record like usual, but I can say that I bought a new PC that should be able to stream properly. So I have a goal for this year to get going with streaming, but this celebration is a bit too early. I want to prepare, so I have everything sorted out. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.